we doing today, guys? My name's Ian, and today we're going to be talking about my F87 M2. We're going to be talking about the 5 things that I love about this car. For those of you that aren't familiar with what this car is, it's a 2018 BMW M2, so it's not a competition, but it is an LCI car. Alright, that's enough about the specs of the car. Let's talk about what makes this car so great, and the first thing is how wonderful this car sounds. In my opinion, it seems like BMW really struggles to get a good twin-turbo inline-6 sound out of any car. So thankfully this one's just single turbo, and boy did they nail the sound. This car came optioned with the M Performance exhaust, so I can open and close the valves here. I'll play some clips now so you can hear what it sounds like. So with this exhaust, you get some valves that just bypass the muffler. So I can have this car crazy loud when I want it or reasonably quiet when I want, which is a huge upgrade, especially considering this is a daily driver for me. But I will say that I do have one complaint with this exhaust. Sometimes I can hear the valves rattle back there, so if anyone else has this exhaust and knows how to fix that, let me know in the comments. The second thing that I love about this car is the styling, and this might be a crazy take, but I actually don't like how a 2 Series looks. Without all the added parts on the M2, I feel like the 2 Series looks way too dainty. Without the wider fenders in the front, without the wider arches in the back and the different wheels, I don't like how the 2 Series looks. And for that reason, I didn't even consider an F22 at all. I know I could have gotten an M235i for a lot cheaper, but it just doesn't look anywhere near as good as an M2. When I was searching for my M2, I was only looking for 2018 cars with the executive package because those got a different set of headlights on it and it makes the front end look a lot more menacing. Overall, this time period for BMWs, they were really nailing their design on the F chassis cars. The F80 is beautiful, the F87 is beautiful. It stayed true to BMW's heritage without going too far from it. A lot of their newer designs, not a huge fan of, but on these F chassis cars, they nailed everything about the styling. The proportions of the headlights, to the kidney grills, to the Hofmeister kink on the side, to the roof line, everything, they just nailed it. Another thing about the styling on the M2 that I love is how wide the hips look in the back because of how small a car it is. I wouldn't say it's as pronounced as the 1M looks, but I remember my first time seeing this car when I test drove it, just looking at it from behind saying, damn, that thing is wide. I also think that this color, Long Beach Blue, is the perfect color for this car. This was the launch color, and as soon as I saw it at the auto show, I was like, I need to own that color. So I like all these things about my M2. Are you liking this video? For real, the third thing that I love about this car, and this might be my favorite thing about the car overall, is how this car handles. The reason that I was looking at an M2 is because it has a shorter wheelbase and it handles differently than an M3 and M4 or anything that's larger than it. The way that this car seems to bend the laws of physics is nothing short of incredible. Plus, when you pair that with a manual transmission, this car is so fun and engaging to drive, but more on this later. The turn-in that you can get out of this car is nothing short of incredible. It really does seem to have unlimited front-end grip. You do need to be careful with that back end because it definitely will step out on you. But this car, for the most part, is very neutral, very controllable, very balanced, as long as you're careful with that right foot. I daily this thing even in the winter here in Illinois, and I still can't believe the levels of grip this car can get, even on snow tires. Now, you might have already guessed this, but the fourth thing that I love about this car is that it's offered with a manual transmission. Manual cars are a dying breed, and they are getting harder and harder to come by. I'm so glad that BMW decided to offer a manual option on this car, and they still continued it with the G87. Did you know that half of the orders for the original M2 were spec'd as manual? I think that shows you that most people that are interested in M2 just truly want a driver's car. In my opinion, I think this is the last driver's car that BMW will ever put out. Sure, they still have the G87s and the G80s in manuals. All of the smaller cars in the lower segments have just continued to grow and grow until they're not even in the segment anymore, really. But big props to BMW for still offering a manual transmission when so many brands are going away from it. Audi doesn't offer it anymore. Mercedes doesn't offer it anymore. I think Porsche still does. The fifth thing that I love about my M2 has to be all the creature comforts. It makes it a great option for a daily driver that still is very capable. It's no secret that driving a manual in traffic can absolutely suck, but with this manual, you have things like hill start assist, rev matching, where if you kind of just want to check out, you can. You don't need to focus on rev matching and everything like that. This is the first car that I've had with iDrive, and it is just so nice to have. You can put your music on, whatever, and you can also do all kinds of other cool stuff like this. Hey Siri, make it say, someone needs to fix the G87's rear end.
Okay, I've created your note. It's called Make It Say Someone Needs to Fix the G87 Rear End.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video next week. And most of, if not all of these features can be turned off if you want a more pure driving experience. So there you have it, the 5 things that I love most about my F87 M2. If you own an F87 M2, let me know in the comments what some of your favorite things are. Thank you for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give me a like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel, and I'll see you guys next week.